Hey, how's it going, everybody? We're here, a dual podcast. This is really awesome. Right now, everyone, you're seeing me here on YouTube, and also go ahead and not sure why there's an echo. Oh, because I had my YouTube channel open. Hey, everyone, thanks for joining. This is kind of a new thing here. We're doing here with Bases Loaded and IESports, just trying to see just how this show could work if you could physically see us, and then we can interact with you. So first of all, I want to say hi to Generals, Jeremiah Morse, Ferris Muthana, who are in the chat, and also thank you to everyone who's also listening on Spreaker. We really appreciate you listening there as well. Everything is it's just something new. I'm just trying to play with it and see how everything works. Because as a lot of you know right now, we don't have baseball right now, unfortunately. Yeah, there's a little thing that's kind of going on. I don't want to say it because YouTube has a little bot that's going around that if you even mention it, your video could potentially be taken down. So I don't want to risk that at all. So yeah, we're just here. We're going to talk about a little news story that kind of broke this week. Jeff Passan, very good ESPN baseball writer, wrote about it, and everything is not good for baseball right now. They really don't know when the season's going to start. And there's a lot of big questions for the fans. So they were just trying to figure out the way probably to best save the season. So if you didn't see it, basically Jeff Passan, there's this story that came out today where basically the plan, sources say, would indicate that all 30 teams play games in basically empty stadiums. No fans, no spectators, no concessions, no crew. And they would play it here in Phoenix, Arizona. They would use the Arizona Diamondbacks Chase Field Stadium and the 10 existing spring training facilities around the valley here. Players, coaching staffs, and other essential personnel, they'd all put them all up in local hotels. There wouldn't be a lot of travel on because everything's in a general 45 to 60-mile radius. So they were just trying to see if this was something they may wanted to do because they're doing their best to try to save the season. Because every day they don't play, they're losing millions upon millions of dollars, and they're just trying to do whatever they can to save this season so they don't there'll be literally a blank season in terms of stats. A lot of these players would waste a year of not eligibility, but service time, not be able to play. And also next season, hopefully, they would all probably be way out of sorts because they hadn't played in over a year. So it's definitely something that baseball definitely needs to keep an eye on. And so that story by Jeff Passan came out Monday night. Tuesday morning, Major League Baseball comes out with a press statement basically saying they have not settled on that option. They're looking into other and detailed plans. So from what it sounds like is this was something they were discussing. Jeff Passan has a source, talked to him, and that's where he kind of wrote that article. So it's definitely it's an option. And I get why they want to do it. I wouldn't say it's probably the smartest idea. Like, a lot of these players probably feed off playing in front of crowds. So being in an empty stadium, there's probably certain players that would really, really struggle. So definitely it would be interesting to see because I don't even think they would broadcast the games on TV. So that would also be something that they probably struggle with. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Major League Baseball does with this whole thing. It's going to be a very. I'm hoping that we get something this season, but if we don't, we don't. I just really don't know how long this thing is going to go. How long we're basically all going to have to be in quarantine, living by ourselves, or living with roommates and family, not being able to go outside or do anything. It's definitely going to be something that is very hard to do. But I do want to say, just say hi to the people that are in the chat on Spreaker. Say hi to Larry, say hi to Taryn. I thank you guys always for coming in and listening to us and trying out this new thing that we have going on. I definitely feel like it's something new to add to IESports. And I love talking baseball, so it's always fun. Just kind of looking here at the chat. Jeremiah asked Ferris, who's his team? And later on, Ferris sadly says, the New York Yankees. Yeah, must be nice to be a fan of a team that makes billions of dollars, has a massive salary cap so they can get any player they wanted. And apparently it's okay he feels sorry for him. So that's kind of interesting. Jeremiah, from what I can tell in here, looks like he's a St. Louis Cardinals fan, which is a decent team to be a fan of. They've been pretty good over the year, so definitely not like some other people that kind of struggle, like maybe a Diamondbacks fan, Padres fan, Tigers, Marlins. Those teams kind of been struggling a lot here, so they definitely are. It's definitely hard to be a fan of those teams that lose every year. I mean, at the start of every year, you get really excited. And then about a month, 6 weeks into the season, your season's already over. So this whole quarantine sounds like bitterness, probably because it is, Ferris. But yeah, it's okay, Jeremiah, you need to calm down. Molina's a good catcher. Yadier Molina, for those who are still listening to us on Spreaker. He's a good catcher. He's not the best of all time. That is an interesting discussion. Now, Jeremiah, if you want to come on and discuss why you think that, I can send you the link through Facebook Messenger. So let me go ahead and do that, and you can decide if you want to come on or not. So, Jerry, if you want to go ahead and let us know why you think Yadier Molina is the best catcher of all time, I would love to hear your takes on that. So, Jerry, you want to come on in? I am all game. So yeah, there's really not a lot of baseball news, unfortunately, going on right now. This story that dropped on Monday was the most news we'd had in a while. So, and another thing baseball is struggling with is what to do to pay these players, as they're not playing games, so these teams aren't making money from concessions, tickets, luxury boxes. So these owners are probably really going to have to pay for it out of their own pocket. Or luckily they have really good people in accounting that can kind of help them. Maybe they had something set aside for these players for the first month. So hopefully they were able to do that. It is a very unique time that we're in right now. So yeah, it's definitely a struggle for a lot of these players. Don't know what to do with themselves. A lot of them are probably just trying to stay in shape too. So, but more of what this episode is really about is just me talking to everyone why I love baseball so much. Baseball is my go-to for anything. Baseball always brings me excitement, always puts a smile on my face. It's always something very exciting. So it's always, no matter how I feel, it always puts me in a good mood. It's something that I played growing up as well. I started playing at about 6 years old, played till I was about 14. I wasn't the most athletically gifted person. Definitely wasn't the fastest. Definitely wasn't the strongest. So it was definitely something that I really struggled with, but I loved the game so much. I just tried to play as long as I could. And then I kind of reached that age where wasn't really that good. I didn't get many hits either. It was just something when I made contact with the bat and ball, the vibration, I literally would stop as soon as the ball hit the bat. So yeah, the ball usually didn't go very far. So yeah, baseball's just, I know a lot of people like to say, oh, it's boring. It's so slow. It's only that way because you choose to make it that way. There's plenty of things going on during the game for you to actually focus on so the game doesn't seem so slow to you. But each person enjoys baseball for different things. So it's definitely one of it hands down is my favorite sport. But in regards to a question we have here in the chat from Taryn, one of our co-hosts here on IESports, he hosts a tennis show. So definitely, guys, go ahead and make sure you check him out. Make sure you go ahead and you do follow us on Twitter at IESports Radio. You'll be able to see all the amazing shows that we have. He asked, when or if baseball comes back, who do you, me personally is what he said, because he has you in all caps, think's going to go to the World Series? It's actually a very interesting talking point, Taryn. So I thank you very much for sending in that question so we can kind of have a little bit of stuff to talk about. As we all know, Taryn, you are an Angels fan. Angels fans, definitely, it is hard to be an Angels fan. They have the best player in Major League Baseball in Mike Trout. Hands down, Mike Trout's the best player in baseball. No one is even close. So it is definitely oh, that's why there was an ad. I am so sorry about that, everybody. Oh, it is what it is. But Angels were actually a team I thought could make a run at a wild card because of the player they got some pretty decent players in the past offseason. They got Anthony Rendon, who just lit it up in the World Series last year with the Washington Nationals. He was on fire. He had always been a pretty decent player, but I feel like the way he played in the playoffs and the World Series, he definitely did really, really well. But yeah, I guess if I had to pick my World Series matchup right now, the Dodgers are so stacked. Being a Diamondbacks fan, it is really hard, and just I feel so yucky inside saying the Dodgers, but that roster is so talented, it's hard not to. And they got like one of the best top 5 player in baseball in Mookie Betts from the Boston Red Sox. The way they got him was kind of interesting. First, the trade was reported on Twitter, and then like a day or two later, it hadn't been completely finalized. And Taryn, I am very sorry. Your show, is volleyball, not tennis. That is my bad. I'm completely sorry, Taryn. So if you want to go ahead and trash me on your show next time, it's completely called for. I won't get mad at all. So you do. Well, I'm so sorry about that, Taryn. But back on point there, the Dodgers and that trade for Mookie Betts, like was the trade going to go through? Was the trade not going to go through? And as a Diamondbacks fan, I was like, this would be so great if it actually didn't end up happening. It just would be just kind of funny to watch the Dodgers fans go like, what happened? But no, it was very interesting there. How that whole thing went down, and hands down, Dodgers are they're so deep at every position. The only place where they really struggle though is pitching. They have some decent starting pitching. It's their bullpen where teams could really start to take advantage of them. Because it's just one thing they don't have anyone where they can really probably do very well. So it's interesting how things could have ended up being. Right now, we don't know when the next game really is going to be. Most states here have a self-quarantine till April 30th. There's some states where it goes into May, some it goes into June. So we really don't know when our next game is going to be, which is kind of a depressing thing because baseball fans, they need, like, a lot of people, their summers are just all with baseball. So it's going to be really tough for them I don't want to think it, but it's possible that we do not have a season at all. Could have 0 games this year, and these players lose their service time. It's interesting to see what's going to happen with their contracts, and a whole year just no stats. So all these players that like have these streaks of like hitting 300, 25 homers, 30 home runs, 100 plus RBIs in consecutive years. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting season. But looks like we got Jerry ready to come on to convince me why Yadier is the best catcher ever. How's it going, Jerry?
It's going good. It's going good.
So, how's it
I've
been?
never been on camera talking about baseball before, so.
Yeah, no, it's really not that hard. You just talk like you're talking to your friends. You have people later, and yeah, it's fun. So, what's it like being a Cardinals fan, by the way?
It is some of the best and worst feelings in the world, in my opinion. I love being a Cardinals fan because we're always in contention. Problem is, we never had those years where we're like the top team in the league, but we're always this. And so sometimes that's just so aggravating.
Yeah, you guys were actually doing pretty well in that series against the Nationals, and then until Game 7. Jerry?
Yeah, well, no, we didn't. We got swept by the Nationals.
Yeah, and that final game was pretty ugly. So, yeah, it's definitely.
We got swept by the Nationals, didn't we?
I thought you guys won at least one game, but all I can remember is that final game wasn't very good.
No, the whole national series was horrible. Like we played above our talent in Atlanta, and then just the Nationals killed us. It was embarrassing.
Oh, I can only imagine how bad it was. It's got to be very frustrating.
Problem was I was talking. Yeah, I was talking so much crap to the Nationals fan I work with, and they let me down. They let me down bad.
That probably didn't. Yeah, that probably didn't work out well for you. So, yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, yeah, like you said, the Cardinals are always in contention. Every year they're usually like in the top 3 of the NL Central until the very end. So they've never really had a down year or a rebuilding year, from what I've noticed. So they're always. It's definitely probably pretty nice to be a Nationals fan, knowing that your team's always pretty good.
Yeah. And one of the best things about being a Cardinals fan, just to put that out there, is going to St. Louis. Those games, when you actually get to go there, I mean, honestly, I've been to maybe only about 8 or 9 stadiums, but there's nothing like St. Louis to me. The aura, the feeling. I don't. Maybe it's because I'm a fan of that team. It's just the greatest experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably always nice to know that your team doesn't suck. That, every year going into it, yay, we're not going to suck this year. We have a shot. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. It looks like everything on StreamYards works fine, but unfortunately, I don't think your audio is going through to the podcasting Spreaker that we're using. So,
oh yeah,
you can't please everyone. So, sounds like guests are not a go-to this way. So I'll have to figure that out later. But Jerry, if you could just quickly summarize why you think you got here.
No,
no, it's not that. It's just I don't think there's a source for where it's coming. So that's the only issue. Is Spreaker is only coming off my microphone, which you can't see on camera right now. So I'll have to figure that out and see. And yeah, I'll have to do some research on that. So just kind of playing around here. So Jerry, why is Yadier Molina the best catcher of all time? Yeah, Jerry, we can't hear you.
Okay.
I can't even hear you.
This is a little biased, obviously. I'm a Cardinals fan. Okay. To me, what makes a great catcher, you can't hear me at all. Let me see. I'm muted. I don't.
Well, let me try something here.
I don't know. Well, I'll just say real quick, I think he's the best, and I don't want to hold up your show anymore. Well, I'll just say real quick, I think he's the best, I don't want to hold up your show anymore.
Yeah. No, but it's definitely something that I'm going to have to go ahead and figure out on when the guest comes through Spreaker. So, Jerry, thanks for coming on and talking about the Cardinals. So, you enjoy the rest of the show. Yeah, so trial and error, everybody. It's what it is. This would be a lot easier for multiple other reasons. I think I actually may have a solution, but we'll see how that goes. But no, yeah, like Jerry was saying with the Cardinals, he probably is a little bit biased. So it's because, yeah, when you're a fan of a team, you're always going to want to root and say that your guy's the best. Now, I don't not think Yadier's a top tier talent. I just don't think he's the best of all time. So he's definitely probably in the top 10, maybe top 15. I'd have to actually look at some of the best players there to see. So, yeah, it is definitely. He's definitely probably one. I'll say this. Definitely probably the best of this generation of catchers, probably the last 20, 25 years. Basically, as soon as Pudge Rodriguez retired, I'd say that's probably when he was the best. So, that's probably when he was, you would say, the most dominant there. So, but no, yeah, he's really fun. Baseball's baseball. That's one thing I love about baseball is every year you could see any team come and get it. Just come out of nowhere and do really, really well. So as Jerry here writes in the YouTube chats, he says defense is key to him. Yes, defense is very important. And hands down, yes, he does have the best arm. He does command the staff very well. But it's just like with any sport, I think it's hard to compare players from different eras to say one's better than the other. But that's the whole fun thing about sports and anything in entertainment. You can debate, and debating is always very fun to do, in my opinion. Some people are better at it than others. Some people are a little rude about it. Like they'll just keep saying the same viewpoint over and over, don't really back it up very well. But it's just how they are. Some people are better at it than others. But yeah, no, baseball, I really miss it. I'm not gonna lie, I miss it a lot. Baseball's my favorite thing in the world. I just love baseball so much. Just right now with everything going on, it's the right thing to do to not have these events. We can't afford for a mass of people to get sick. So it's definitely not very good there. So baseball is awesome. Yeah, baseball literally in season, every night I come home, I lay in bed, I watch baseball. That's what I do. I try to watch a game at least once a day. I love it so much. It just has a special place in my heart. So it is very fun to do. Just watch. I mean, just watch these players make some of these amazing plays, the passion for the game, the intensity. You can definitely tell when certain players have a passion for something and some who are just doing it for a paycheck. So yeah, just kind of hoping we get baseball to come back here soon. I know this isn't probably the most entertaining, most engaged episode that we have. There's only so much you can do by yourself. Definitely. But so this week we actually have the YouTube stream on my own personal YouTube, as was having trouble with StreamYards, allowing me to connect our network, IESports Radio's YouTube to StreamYards. It would ask for some code. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know where the code was. It was just all such a hassle. And hopefully, and most likely next week, we will be on the main IESports YouTube channel. This video will also be on there, so you can go ahead and see it and watch it. And some groundbreaking news from Jeremiah Morse. Mark Reynolds retires. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. He's definitely made his rounds there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up his stats just to see, could he be Hall of Fame worthy or not? So let's go ahead here. And for everyone that is actually watching on YouTube, I can go ahead, hold on, and do this. I believe so. So, it's good. Yeah, right there. That's pretty cool. You know, I'm really not 100% confident on how to do this. So let's go ahead and check this out. So, Mark Reynolds began his career with actually, this is probably more accurate, Arizona Diamondbacks in 2007. Played 111 games, only had 17 homers, but the one thing he's known for is a swing and a miss. Had 129 strikeouts. Definitely was not his most ideal year. Next year, 2008, you could say that was his coming out party. 28 homers, 97 RBIs. But then you got this. 204 strikeouts. For those of you who don't know baseball, that's not very good. That is at least one a game, more like 2 every game. It's definitely something that is not very good. But that's kind of what Mark Reynolds was known for, was swinging hard. So sometimes he'd make contact, sometimes he wouldn't. The next year was probably his best year. 44 homers, 102 RBIs, 223 swings and misses. Definitely was not a very good year for him. But he actually finished 20th in the NL MVP race, got 6% of the votes. So, not too bad. I mean, when you hit 44 home runs, it's definitely pretty good there, but also not very good. And that year was the year that he set the strikeout record, 223 swings and misses. So let's just kind of do something here. So it's 223 strikeouts. He didn't bat too bad. He hit 260, on base 349, slugging 543, OPS of 892. That's actually not too bad. So definitely, but no, he was always Mr. Swing and a Miss. So when he made contact, that ball could go pretty far. So yeah, Mark Reynolds. And in his later years, he actually didn't strike out as much. So he wasn't as much of a liability. Probably his best year in his most recent years when he was 33 years old at the time, 2017 with the Colorado Rockies. So in Mile High. So he didn't have to probably hit that hard. 30 homers, 97 RBIs, but 175 strikeouts. So still had those Ks just a little bit too high. But no, I think he can be in the discussion for Hall of Fame. He finished 2 homers short of 300. But those strikeouts, he had 1,927 over 13 years. That is pretty rough, pretty tough. So definitely not very good, unfortunately. But I think he could, depending on the year, he could maybe get some votes. Is it going to be enough to get him in? I can't really say because the way, and he probably, I don't know. I think it could be an interesting discussion to be had, maybe debate about, depending on the year, if he should be in the running there for the All-Stars. So, I mean, the Hall of Fame. But he's not a definite, oh, yeah, he's definitely in kind of guy. So, but I think that's about all we can do here today. I want to thank everyone, the 5 viewers that we have here on YouTube. I really appreciate everyone that was watching. So thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you, Ferris. Thank you, Ashley. I know you're listening. Thank you, Taryn. And thanks to the boss, Larry Belmontes. Thank you very much, Larry, for allowing me to give this a try. And hopefully this will do pretty well going forward. If you take a look, if you're watching on YouTube, down in the description of the video, we'll see all the links to all the social media. You'll see my Twitter, my co-host Blake, the Bases Loaded Twitter, the IESports, and us on Spreaker for Bases Loaded. And yeah, so I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We will be on next week. And so definitely go ahead and make sure to tune on. We will be on the IESports. So if you follow me on Twitter or you're friends with me on Facebook, I'll be posting the link there. So hopefully everyone enjoyed the show. But until next time, enjoy some baseball.